sequence take off the way, That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We have pondered our place amongst the stars since the dawn of humankind. We've looked at the stars with wonder and amazement, their glow guiding our travel for centuries. The more we learn about our universe, the more questions we have. Today, we'll explore where NASA and its partners are taking us in the future. But before we begin this journey, just like every NASA mission, our number one goal is to return home safely. So always stay seated while the bus is in motion. Please, no food or drinks on the bus with the exception of water. Please keep conversation to a minimum so others may hear and enjoy the tour. No photography is permitted at the security gates, but there will be plenty of photo opportunities during the tour.
Hi, I'm Emily Calandrelli, and I'm excited to go behind the gates at Kennedy Space Center and experience the incredible achievements of NASA. I'm standing next to a real Mercury Redstone rocket, the same rocket that began NASA's journey of human space exploration. Our trip today will begin at the same Mercury Redstone and take us from the Apollo and Space Shuttle programs into current day activities at this multi-user spaceport into the exciting future of NASA. The work that's being done right this moment at Kennedy Space Center is bringing us closer to that next monumental achievement in space exploration. To welcome you, here's Space Shuttle astronaut and Center Director of Kennedy Space Center, Bob Cabana.
Hi, I'm Bob Cabana. Welcome to NASA's John F. Kennedy Space Center, where NASA astronauts have ventured forth on flights of exploration since the 1960s, and where future space exploration will take us to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. In all our history, there's been one common theme woven throughout our DNA. It's our insatiable desire to explore beyond our home planet, and our never-ending quest to expand our knowledge of the universe. As you venture behind the gates, you'll find a community of the most talented, dedicated, motivated workforce anywhere in the world who believe in the unlimited potential of space exploration. This is an active spaceport where new things are happening every day. You never know what you might see, so enjoy your tour.
We pioneered a path to the moon with the Apollo program. Today, our calling to explore is even greater. Artemis, the twin sister of Apollo and goddess of the moon and the hunt, encompasses all of our present efforts to return humans to the moon and to prepare us and propel us onto Mars. Through the Artemis program, we'll send the first woman and the next man walk on the surface of the moon. And Kennedy Space Center is involved in nearly every aspect. Here's how.
This all starts with the ability to get larger, heavier payloads off planet and beyond Earth's gravity.
For this, we designed an entirely new rocket.
The Space Launch System. SLS will be the most powerful rocket ever developed.
And with components in production,
And more in testing?
this system is capable of being the catalyst for deep space missions.
We need a capsule
that can support humans from launch
through deep space and return safely back to Earth.
For this, we built Orion.
This is NASA's next generation human space capsule.
Using our commercial partners to deliver science instruments and robotics to the surface, we're paving the way for human missions in 2024.
We want lunar landers that are reusable,
that can land anywhere on the lunar surface.
The simplest way to do so is to give them a platform in orbit around the moon for which to transition.
An orbiting platform to host deep space experiments and be a waypoint for human capsules. We call this lunar outpost Gateway.
The beauty of the Gateway is that it can be moved between orbits
It will balance between the Earth and Moon's gravity.
in a position that is ideal for launching even deeper space missions.
We go now to the moon, not as a destination, but as a proving ground for the technology, science, and human exploration efforts that will be critical for missions to Mars. This is a partnership. Not just government launches, but commercial launches and international partners. We are going together. From the moon, humanity will take the next giant leap to Mars. You are now approaching the Vehicle Assembly Building, or as NASA calls it, the VAB. It is one of the largest buildings in the world by volume, and is the place where NASA completes the final assembly of its rockets. The sheer scale of this building is hard to grasp, even when you're right next to it.
Do you ever feel really small when you think about space? What about when you're standing next to a skyscraper or a really big bridge? Well, I feel about as small as an ant right now. I'm standing inside the Vehicle Assembly Building trying to grasp how large it really is in here. It has 4 bays. Each bay has 2 large horizontal doors below it and 7 smaller vertically opening doors above it, tall enough to fit the world's largest rocket through. In fact, these are the largest doors in the world.
It was built in the 1960s for the Apollo program. Every Saturn V rocket that sent humans to the moon was assembled right here. Every space shuttle mission also assembled within these same walls. After the space shuttle program, a major renovation to the inside of this building began to accommodate NASA's next generation of rockets, the Space Launch System, or SLS. Lockheed Martin has developed a capsule called Orion that will sit atop the SLS rocket. This capsule is designed to facilitate human exploration of the moon and eventually Mars. The first flown Orion capsule from Exploration Flight Test 1, EFT-1, sits inside the NASA Now exhibit at the Visitor Complex. This uncrewed test flight launched atop the Delta IV Heavy rocket in 2014. The 4.5-hour flight took the spacecraft around the Earth 2 times before splashing down in the Pacific Ocean, where it was recovered and eventually brought back to KSC. Even though rockets often launch from Kennedy Space Center, astronauts have not traveled to space from the United States since the last shuttle mission in 2011. NASA's Commercial Crew program is bringing human spaceflight back to American soil. In 2018, NASA announced the astronauts who will fly these historic missions. For the first time, astronauts will ride to the International Space Station aboard spacecraft developed by private companies. Boeing and SpaceX have been working closely with NASA to each design their own spacecraft to transport astronauts. In March 2019, SpaceX launched Demonstration Mission 1, the first uncrewed test flight of the Crew Dragon. The capsule was outfitted with Ripley, an anthropomorphic test device, or test dummy, designed to gauge and record the potential effects of flight on humans in the spacecraft. The module also delivered more than 400 pounds of supplies and equipment to the ISS. The Crew Dragon performed the first autonomous docking of a U.S. spacecraft to the ISS and was greeted by the Expedition 58 crew members, Anne McClain, David St. Jacques, and Oleg Kononenko, and 2 additional test flights will follow, SpaceX's Demo 2 flight test and Boeing's CST-100 Starliner uncrewed test flight. That large, colorful mural depicts the Starliner in orbit. The building it's on was once the orbiter processing facility for the Space Shuttle program and is now being leased by Boeing. The CST-100 Starliner launches atop an Atlas V rocket made by the United Launch Alliance, or ULA. They currently launch the Atlas V and Delta IV Heavy rockets. SpaceX launches their Crew Dragon on top of their Falcon 9 rocket. All of these partners are reinvigorating the space community here at Kennedy Space Center and beyond. Every day, we all benefit from the incredible technological advancements that these organizations help make happen. Private space manufacturing and transportation companies like SpaceX, Boeing, United Launch Alliance, and Lockheed Martin, among others, are seizing the opportunity to launch satellites and perform other low Earth orbit missions.
Some say the moon. Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
When President John F. Kennedy made this speech in 1962, he set in motion an era of discovery that would change humankind forever. 7 years after he spoke these ambitious words, the world watched as Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first people to walk on the moon. The achievements of the men and women who worked on the space program in these early decades of NASA helped propel the technology we use every day. NASA and the thriving private space industry at Kennedy Space Center today are the living legacy of their story. As we arrive at the Apollo Saturn V Center to learn more about that historic era, get ready to step back into a time when NASA had everything to prove to a nation focused on one goal: to be the first country to land a person on the moon.